Hello everyone, I am Fahim, Associate Professor in Physics at Anand International College of Engineering, Jaipur. In this video, I will be giving you a brief introduction of types of solids and their bonding. This topic is a part of physics in RTU BTech first year syllabus. Well, when we take up the study of materials, the first and the foremost thing springs to our mind is what is actually a material? And the answer is anything which we see around us. For instance, our clothes, water, table, rocks, buildings, houses are all made up of materials. Material or matter can broadly be characterized into three states. And these three states are solid, liquid, and gas. As shown in the diagram, the particles in solids are tightly packed together and cannot move. However, in solid, the electrons of each atom are constantly in motion, so the atoms have a small vibration, but the atoms vibrate in their fixed position, due to which they possess very low kinetic energy. Whereas the particles in liquid are loosely packed and are able to flow around each other. Liquid has no shape and has a lower density as compared to solids. A gas is defined as a state of matter consisting of particles that have neither a defined volume nor a defined shape. Because in gas, the particles have a great space between them. Now, the definition of solid. The shape and the volume are relatively stable in solid due to the arrangement of its particles. In solid, particles are much closer together compared to particles in liquid and gas, and according to the chemical bonds, they can be classified into crystalline solids or amorphous solids. So, here comes the types of solids. On the basis of the arrangement of constituent particles, the solids are classified into two categories. They are crystalline solids and amorphous solids. In crystalline solid, there is a long chain ordering that indicates the regular pattern of arrangement of particles, which is repeated over the entire crystal, giving it a specific structure. Whereas in amorphous, particles are randomly arranged, indicating short range ordering of the particles. Crystalline solids are the most stable form of solids due to their low potential energy. For example, sugar, rock salts, quartz, calcite, etc. Whereas the amorphous solids are also known as the non-crystalline solids with no proper arrangement of atoms in the solid lattice. For example, flour, talc powder, glass, rubber, plastic. Bonding in solids. As we know, all solids are composed of atoms that are bonded together. The bonding may be of different nature depending upon the constituent atoms and their energy states. So, what is the role of bonds? Well, bond provides a certain level of attractive force to keep the atoms close together. There are mainly three types of bonding: ionic bonding, covalent bonding, and metallic bonding. Now let us understand why and how this bonding takes place between different atoms. The bonding takes place because every atom has a tendency to acquire a stable configuration. When electrons in an atom have unstable arrangement, they tend to bond with other unstable atom in order to rearrange their electrons and become more stable. Since metals have fewer valence electron, they always prefer to give away their electrons to become more stable. After giving electrons, they become positively charged and known as cation. As nonmetals have more valence electrons, they tend to gain electrons to become more stable. And after taking electrons, they become negatively charged and known as anions. Proceeding with ionic bond is formed when a metallic atom, for example sodium, combined with a non-metallic atom, for example chlorine, to form a compound. Hence, there is a transfer of electrons and not the sharing of electrons. To understand it better, let us delve into an example of sodium chloride. As we know, sodium has 1 valence electron in its outermost shell and chlorine has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. In ionic bond, atoms will either take electrons or give electrons. Since sodium has only 1 electron in its outermost shell, so it is much easier to give 1 electron rather than taking 7 electrons from chlorine. On the other hand, it's easier for chlorine to take 1 electron rather than giving 7 electrons to sodium. Now when they interact or react, sodium loses 1 electrons and become a positively charged ion known as cation, and chlorine becomes negatively charged ion known as anions by gaining 1 electron. These oppositely charged particles known as ions are then held together by electrostatic force of attraction. Properties of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds form crystal lattices rather than amorphous solids. They have higher enthalpies of fusion and vaporization than molecular compounds. They are hard, brittle, and have high melting points and high boiling points. They also conduct electricity, but only when they are dissolved in water. Covalent bond is formed by sharing of electrons between two non-metallic atoms. Here, to understand it better, we will take an example of hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen has 1 electron in the valence shell. Now, in order to form a duplex structure, it needs 1 more electrons in valence shell. So, it shares 1 electron with other hydrogen atom. So, when both share 1 electron, both acquire a stable structure as shown in the diagram. Properties of covalent compounds. Most covalent compounds have relatively low melting points and boiling points. Covalent compounds usually have lower enthalpies of fusion and vaporization than ionic compounds. And they dissolve in water, but they do not conduct electricity. Which means that when they dissolve in water, they don't conduct electricity. Now, what happens when two metal atoms want to become more stable? As discussed previously, metals have less number of electrons in their outermost shell and they have tendency to lose electrons. Hence, both metal atoms want to give away their electrons to acquire a stable configuration. So here they both give away their electron to become stable, but if there are only metals around, they help each other to get a stable state. If one metal loses electrons, the second metal catches it, but instead of holding this electron, the other metal loses electrons right back. Hence, metal atoms pass the electrons back and forth constantly and end up having more stable structure, and in this process they form a metallic bond. Since no atom holds the loose electron, electrons keep moving in the space between the metal atoms, and this floating of electrons is called sea of mobile electrons as shown in the figure. The force of attraction between positive ions is greater than the repulsive force between electrons and ions, and it is responsible for holding metal atoms together. A metallic bond is much weaker than a covalent bond because in metallic bond the electrons move freely throughout the crystal, but in covalent bond the valence electrons are localized. Properties of metallic compounds. Metallic compounds have very high melting and boiling points. They are very good conductors of heat and electricity. They are malleable, that means they can be made into different shapes without breaking. They are ductile, which means they can be molded into wirings. They are shiny and sometimes shows the magnetic properties. Thank you.